All right, guys, let's go ahead and move back to the NFL, where an important date is coming on. The 2017 draft class's fifth-year option deadline was this week. All first-round picks have a fifth-year team option built into their contracts that pays the pick based off their draft slot and position on a one-year guaranteed deal. Some, such as Patrick Mahomes and Myles Garrett, were obviously no-brainers to their teams, but there were several interesting ones, including each pick from 2 to 5 getting declined. So we've got 10 of the highlights of the list here, and let's start at number 2 with Mitch Trubisky. Jay, agree or disagree with him being declined?
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. Matter of fact, I'm going to take the position of this is one of the better decisions I've seen Ryan Pace make as a general manager of the Chicago Bears. I completely applaud him for this because he's telling you right now, you know what? I think I made a bit of a mistake trading up one pick for this dude at North Carolina when fellas like Deshaun Watson was still readily available in this draft. So, yeah, and don't let it fool you. Trubisky with that nice 23-18 record with a playoff appearance. We know there's the smoke and mirrors of Matt Nagy and his first year as head coach. We knew that. And we was also propped up by that number one defense under Vic Fangio in 2018. So, yeah, we ain't seen enough from Trubisky to warrant him getting that option picked up.
Hey, they absolutely made the right. Listen, just like Jay said, this might be one of the best decisions in the draft, period. That draft class, you decline it. And one thing I want to point out that I always argue, and this is what this have shown me, this fifth-year option, the decisions that they made. Mitch Trubisky, once again, a one-year starter in college, declined. Patrick Mahomes, multiple years, he's going to get an extension. Most likely, Deshaun Watson, multiple years, he's going to get an extension. So that's 3 of the top quarterbacks that got taken in this draft. If you actually go further down, I'm pretty sure that trend is repeating itself. So this is what I talk about when people give me raving reviews because God started 1 year and was the best thing since sliced bread, but then he can't show you anything else. This is why I feel that way about that.
Yeah, I agree. I would not have picked this up either. I applaud the Bears for getting out from under a quarterback that they don't think is working out. A lot of teams struggle with that. I'll use my Jaguars as an example before with Blake Bortles, but we're obviously an extreme in that example. But there are many other teams that have had a guy they've been like, on. But I think the Bears are right to just kind of cut the cord. I mean, 3 years to me is a good number. You get 3 years. If you haven't seen what you need to see out of the second overall pick, it's maybe time to go ahead and move on. And that contract salary would have been about $25 million in the pickup. That's a whole lot of money to pay Mitch Trubisky for not a lot of production. All right, we'll move over to Leonard Fournette. He was declined to the 4th overall pick. Agree, disagree?
Oh, yeah, I agree with it. Listen, here's my point of this, all right? When you get taken 4th overall in a climate where running backs, anytime you take a running back anywhere in the top 10, your fan base is like, wait, what? We just seen him with Fournette. We seen him with Gurley. We seen him even with Zeke. As good as Zeke was at first, Dallas Nation was not happy about it. So when you take a running back this high, you got to expect that you're going to get at least try to get 3 max years out of this running back. You're not drafting a running back at number 4 to fight the fans, to fight other players, to be hurt half of the time you need them. I mean, you're rolling out a playoff game and you don't know if you're going to have them or not. This is not why you pay a running back. This is not why you draft a running back 4th overall. So that's not going to cut it. Now, if you want to give me the argument of, hey, well, he was coming on strong last year. Yeah, he was coming on so strong they tried to trade him during the draft. That's how strong he was coming on. Listen, they just don't matter now. Listen, the organization is the organization. So I'm just going off his antics in the first 3 years of him being in the NFL. He might pick up with another team and be good to go. But as far as this fifth-year option, I agree with Jacksonville on declining it.
Yeah, I'm on the other side. I disagree with this one, and I'm gonna lean more on the positive side of things. In 2017, we forget that during his rookie season, we know the Jaguars had that great defense, but their offense, the only reason that offense was particularly watchable was because Leonard Fournette was a catalyst, and everything they did was set up due to his fine work on the ground. 2018, it was not a good year. But last season he came on quite strong. We noticed it early in the season. He was in shape. He was motivated. He had a nice burst to his game. I liked what he was doing, and I thought his performance last year, you would want to pick up that option. But I do like your point about them not picking up this option. I think he's one of those guys that I think leaving Jacksonville is going to benefit him. And matter of fact, I think leaving Jacksonville benefits a lot of people because that organization is not well run at all. So in the grand scheme of things, I mean, it'll be good for Fournette in the long run.
Yeah, I agree with Drink in the sense that Jacksonville never got what they expected fourth overall. I mean, you go fourth overall, people are expecting Earl Campbell or Adrian Peterson. I mean, your expectations are lofty, and Fournette's had that spotlight on him since high school. I mean, it feels like he's been around for 15 years, but he's only 25. He's about to turn 25, rather. He has 3,600 scrimmage yards in 36 games. So, I mean, when he's playing, he's productive. But Drinks, again, he's right that he had a lot of issues in 2018. Not only did he run on the field to fight somebody in Buffalo, I think Shaq Lawson maybe, he wasn't even in the game. He was on the bench and ran out there to fight. He also had the issues with the fans, and he had an injury that seemed to linger for weeks on. Remember, to the point where they had to trade for Carlos Hyde and then didn't even use him. You know, it's been an up and down. I will say, like Jay said, he came back. He got into shape. He was way better this year. He was among the top 10 in the league in scrimmage yards, and he's become a back you can use on all three downs. I've seen enough out of him this year, but I would have picked up that option with the thought that, hey, maybe I won't need this. Maybe I'll still go to cut him. But I think Jacksonville at this point is more or less just trying to cut all that old team off, and they're trying to just move on. So I think it's a combination of not really wanting to pay him about $9 million and the fact that they're trying to just move on from that whole culture that they created a while back. So I would have picked it up, but I can see why they didn't. Move on to Corey Davis, Jay, the 5th overall pick. He was declined as well by the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, real simple. I agree with this one. They drafted this dude to be a number one receiver. He's got 142 receptions in 3 years. He only started 11 games last year. They already told you they done with him when they drafted A.J. Brown. This was an easy one. I agree with him.
Yeah, I agree with them. Hey, it's hard to justify a $15.68 million option. What is this the same team that don't want to pay Derrick Henry? I wish they would pay Corey Davis. And he hasn't closely lived up to the hype. He came out of Western Michigan. He was supposed to be one of those burners from a mid-major. He's going to set the world on fire. And the only thing he set on fire is probably his house, because he darn sure ain't do it on the field, folks. So with that said, I definitely agree with Tennessee declining his option.
I can't believe that I even consider defending a Titan. But I mean, the thing with Corey Davis we have to remember is the Titans are they are the least pass-happy team in the league by a huge margin. Like they don't pass a lot. What I like about Davis is he's big. He's a big blocker. He does fit that team's perspective. And here's the thing. Here's where I'm going with this. All right, here's where I'm going with this. Give me a second here. You drafted A.J. Brown. Okay, we agree that you want at least 2 good wide receivers. You don't just want one. You want at least 2. You haven't really drafted a lot of other guys that you're super high on. And you just paid Ryan Tannehill all this money. Wouldn't you want to try to keep that little bit of a core you have together for a while? Corey Davis has not produced to the 5th overall pick at all, but he's not far off of Mike Williams, who was picked 2 picks later, as far as pure production. If you actually factor in the fact that the Titans don't throw the ball, I don't know. I feel like this is the one you could have taken, at least picked it up, and see how this year plays out. Because remember, this is the last year you could pick up an option and then not pay the guy unless they're injured. Then, of course, it's injury guaranteed. But I don't know. I just feel like, who do the Titans have after Brown? What's the long-term plan? If you've just paid Ryan Tannehill all this money, why wouldn't you want to keep his weapons, together? But
was he a weapon? He was a weapon? Hold on. He a weapon? Was he a weapon? Listen, what year did they draft Corey Davis?
17.
What year did they draft A.J. Brown?
This past one. 19.
A.J. Brown was a 2nd-round pick. Corey Davis was a 1st-round pick. Go look at the numbers. I bet you A.J. Brown's looking a little better.
So in that case, what you're saying, if you want to keep him, you can do that. You don't pick up this option and just re-sign him to a more reasonable contract going forward. You can't justify that $15 million or whatever for a guy that's going to block well for you.
You could, but we've seen these guys that do, like Jack Conklin. He did the same thing. He had some rough start, then he had a huge year, and then he made a boatload of money. So
they paid Jack Conklin to block.
But listen, and listen, Jack Conklin is an offensive lineman. We talking about a wide receiver and offensive lineman is 2 different things.
All right, let's go. Move on.
Yeah, we can move on.
Hold on, hey, what are you talking about? Moving on. Who are you? Who are you? Calm it down. Let's calm it down on that, Pops. We talking. Yeah. We don't moving on.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to look at it from all sides here. I don't know. I might have done it. Well, anyway, we can move on to Jamal Adams' drink, number 6 overall pick from the Jets. He got picked up.
Yeah, this is easy. Jamal Adams definitely deserved to be picked up. I know I agree with the Jets. I understand they're going through a situation with him right now. He's holding out of the virtual offseason program because he won a new contract. That's starting to be status quo now. The Jets probably not even worried about it. Like, this is what everybody's doing now. So put that nonsense aside. I think he will be there day one when the rubber meets the road. And I think this is definitely a good exception of his option.
The guy's been a star from day one. He just made an all-pro team in his third year. This is an easy one. Even if it could be a little murky down the road, long term, you got to pick up this option.
Yeah. So here's why I wouldn't. I'm just kidding. Give Drake a heart attack. No, I completely agree. I'd pick it up. I just wonder, with the trade rumors, if there was anything about like picking that up, knowing that they might still be looking to trade him. But I think that's a lot more smoke than anything else. I don't think the Jets are getting moving on from him right now. So yeah, definitely that would have been one I would have picked up as well. John Ross, 9th overall pick. Jay, he was declined. What do you think?
Yeah, this is another one. I mean, you can throw this in the Corey Davis category. You've played 24 out of a possible 48 games. You've caught 49 passes. There's just not enough for you to stay on this team.
Listen, what is John Ross known for? What he did at the combine. He's known for nothing he done on the field. He's known for what he did at the combine. I'm telling you right now, if the combine is the first accolade you throw out about a player, they got to go. We're done. It's a wrap. Go ahead and moving on. So yeah, this is an easy one.
Yeah, there's a John Ross in every draft, and unlike Davis, he hasn't even had nearly that kind of production. So no defending it here. I would absolutely not have picked him up. Let's go ahead and go to number 15. Malik Hooker of the Indianapolis Colts. He was declined.
Yeah, I disagree with this. I didn't quite understand why. Maybe as a safety he did not live up to the highest expectation, but you got him 15. I thought he played good enough for the billing of what you draft him for, but I might be wrong. So yeah, I disagree with this one.
Yeah, I disagree with the Colts. I agree with Drink here. I would have picked this up. Yeah, he tore his ACL and MCL in his rookie year. He bounced back, though, the next year, played 14 games, played at a pretty high level. Had some injury concerns last year as well. There's a little bit of risk here with the injury concerns, but I think I've seen enough, and I've seen enough I would want to keep him around with this option. I'd keep him.
Yeah, I would agree too. And the thing is with safety, safeties don't get paid a lot to begin with, so the option isn't going to be a ton of money going into the 5th year. So if you've seen him be very productive when he was healthy, which he has been, and you don't have a lot else in that secondary at the safety position behind him, I'm not sure why the Colts wouldn't have opted, especially in this sort of win now window they're looking at, why they wouldn't have went ahead and picked that up. So yeah, I agree. I would have picked it up. Let's go to 18. Another Tennessee Titan, Adoree Jackson. He was picked up.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about Adoree Jackson, but I agree with the Titans picking this option up for this reason. You look at the cornerback position on this team, and it's just not. I mean, we got some questions out there. Logan Ryan, he's gone. Drink's got an APB still out for Malcolm Butler. We don't know where he is.
Still got it all.
I understand they drafted Christian Fulton, but by and large, there's just not enough at that position for a team that apparently wants to win right now with Ryan Tannehill. You can't give up Adoree Jackson. You got to keep him.
Yeah. Jay said it pretty crystal clear. I just don't see if you was to let him go, what you gonna do? Christian Fulton gonna be the savior? I just don't think you got enough. Like I said, Malcolm Butler, he ain't been alive since the goal line of the Super Bowl. Ryan Logan, he left. He skipped it. So you need him per se, and I think his production did give you enough to justify keeping him for at least another year.
Yeah, I agree too. He's a good cover corner. He maybe still has had some issues living up to the hype, but he's been very good, and I definitely think he was worth picking up. Like y'all said, you got to have at least 2 good corners, and the position has become so much more valuable in the NFL. You got to pick him up. All right, Drink. OJ Howard of the Bucks up next at 19th overall. He was accepted as well, or retained as well.
Yeah, I disagree. I'm gonna tell you, I was quite surprised that they did exercise his 5th-year option. Very surprised. With everything that's going on in Tampa Bay, listen, you got this guy 19 overall, and you treat him like you got him in the 7th round. You got Cameron Brate out here. He got more catches. I didn't understand it. Why draft him if you was just going to use the same guy that you already had on the roster? I just didn't understand that. And then on top of that, not only did you smack him in the face in the past, now you'd have hit him with the people's elbow because you'd have brought Gronk in. So now you got Gronk on the roster. And, most conventional minds would say, oh, okay, well they're gonna decline the option because they brought Gronk in and then let OJ Howard go the next year. Wait, are you playing mind games with this dude? Now you exercise the option. So I don't understand quite what Tampa Bay doing here. I wouldn't be surprised if he get an extension at this point, just to really mess with his mind, just to stem them. So yeah, I disagree with them exercising his option.
Yeah, I disagree with the Bucks. I agree with Drink. This is one that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and this has nothing to do with OJ Howard's talent. I think we still all regard him as a top tier talent at tight end. But the Bucks, for whatever reason, they haven't been able to successfully integrate him into the offense. He's caught 94 passes in 3 seasons, 26 in his rookie season, then 34 the past 2 seasons. And now you're going to tell me that you're going to get him integrated now after you brought in Rob Gronkowski? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I wouldn't have picked this up.
Yeah, I agree. I think Gronk was kind of the tipping point for this one. If he wouldn't have joined, then I could have still seen, hey, while we got Brady here, I want to make sure we keep these guys around. Tight ends, again, aren't paid a ton, so that it wouldn't have been too financially burdensome to do so. But, yeah, with Gronk coming in at this point, it's like, okay, well, do we really need to keep this guy around? Can we not go get a second or third tight end if we need one? So, yeah, I disagree with Bucks as well. We have Jabril Peppers, the 25th overall pick. He was accepted as well, Jay.
Yeah, I agree with the Giants on this one. I would have picked this one up. I think we've seen a steady improvement his first 3 years in the league to encourage me that he's going to continue to be on the upswing and get better. We got to also remember that Jabril Peppers was part of the Odell Beckham trade. So you got to think we know how Dave Gettleman operates. You got to believe there's a little bit of pride factor here. He's going to want to keep that the big get in return for OBJ. He's going to want to keep him around. And also got to remember you bring in Xavier McKinney. This could be a really good safety combination for years to come. I like it. I like the decision.
Absolutely. I agree with the decision. Look, here's the deal. And this what kind of made it for me for Peppers was, hey, he get drafted to Cleveland. He plays well. Then all of a sudden he's one of those players that was playing well, and then he got traded. So that had to go through his mind like, why am I getting traded? But, hey, the Giants really, really wanted you. You get to the Giants, and he still, even though he went through that transition in his first contract, he still played up to a certain level of, a very productive level. So listen, I'm all about that. He didn't fold up like a wet napkin. He came out, he played for the other team. I love it. I'm glad they exercised his option.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think Jabril Peppers is one of these guys that looks a lot like, we talked a lot about Isaiah Simmons leading up to this draft. He has that same sort of athleticism, that just Swiss Army knife kind of build to his game. So I think almost any team's going to look at him and go, oh, yeah, we can use this guy. And I think he's getting better as time goes on in New York. And, yeah, that was a good pickup there. And like Jay said, that combination, that's pretty good. And we'll wrap up with David Njoku, Drink, 29th overall pick. He was also retained for another year.
Hey, and he's still laying on the field?
I think they got him by now.
Oh, they got him?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Cleveland, listen. I have said so much positive things, like so many positive things about y'all off-season moves. I think you guys been doing fantastic. But what is this? Why would you sign Austin Hooper, max him out, just to bring in Njoku for another year, and then get a – I don't understand why they brought him back. To get back to the original question, I thought David Njoku was still dead. What I thought they was going to do was, I thought since Mayfield put a hit out on him and killed him in the game, they was just going to decline the option, let him come in, let him come play, kind of fumble around or trade him, whatever the case might be, and then just move on. I don't know. I don't really understand the strategy, but I want to see, can the dude even walk? Like, he got smoked. Did we not see him get smoked? I haven't seen him since getting smoked. So I just want to see what the dude looked like at this point.
Yeah, I agree with Drink. I didn't agree with this one. He only played 4 games last year, caught 5 passes. He's always had a reputation to have a kind of questionable hands. And then you mentioned, look, when you look at what they've done elsewhere at the position, they reset the market at tight ends with the big contract for Austin Hooper. They also drafted Harrison Bryant in the 4th round of this year's draft. So it's a crowded tight end session. It's going to be a crowded tight end room, and I'm not sure there's a whole lot of room for Njoku.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. The only thing I could maybe think Cleveland's thinking here is again, like the salaries, because this is based off not only your position, but also your draft slot. And being a 29th overall pick, his salary should probably be around like $6 million, which isn't too bad. Maybe they thought for cheap, they know what they've got in him. Maybe they can work him in the rotation. I'm not sure. I probably wouldn't have picked it up either, but This one I don't see as egregious, but I would lean with y'all in saying that it probably shouldn't have been done.